Hello and welcome to this lecture. In this particular lecture of mathematics, we are going to discuss about continuity and differentiability. So let's take some problems of continuity and then of differentiation. Let's get started. Let's take up the first problem. So this in this problem, it's given that the function is defined to the left of pi by 2, at pi by 2, and to the right of pi by 2. It's given to us that at pi by 2 the function is continuous. So it means that we have to find LHL, we have to find RHL, and then equate them. So now when we do this, let's see what happens. And we're able to find values of A and B. So the LHL would be limit x tending to pi by 2 from the negative side, from the left hand side. And it is defined as 1 minus sine cube x divided by 3 cos square x. Next, what I'm going to do is limit h tending to 0. And I'm going to put pi by 2 minus h as x. So what happens is, in place of I'm going to put sine of pi by 2 minus h, the whole cube, divided by 3 cos of pi by 2 minus h, the whole square. Let's see what happens to do this. So limit h tending to 0, 1 minus cos cube h by 3 sine square h. That's what happens. Now we are in a position to do something about this. And I'm sure we'll be able to find the value of this limit. So you can clearly see that there is this cos cube h which cannot be evaluated directly. So we have to do something over here. And it should be nothing but probably we can apply a cube minus b cube formula, which will be a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square. So let's try this and see what happens. So considering this is 1 cube is 1, we can write 1 minus cos h into 1 square plus cos h plus cos square h. And if you see over here, this is sine square h, which can further be written as 1 minus cos square h. Now this can be written as 1 minus cos square h, which can further be written as 1 minus cos h into 1 plus cos h. So all in all, what we get is this and this term gets cancelled, limit h tending to 0. Now we don't have any problem, because if we substitute h as 0 over here, what we'll get is 3 on top. Here there is 3, and here there is 1 plus 1, that is 2. So overall what we get is half. So the value of this limit as h tends to 0 is half. That's the value of left hand limit. Now a as given to us is pi by 2, because that is the value of, a is not pi by 2. What is given to us is that the value of the limit at that point, the value of the function at that point is a. That is given to us. That means a is half. That is one conclusion that I can make. Let's get back to the problem. Now the second limit is what we have to evaluate, which is 1 minus sine x by pi minus 2x the whole square. Let's do it. So now I am evaluating right hand limit, which would be written as limit h tending to 0. Initially I go to write it as x tending to pi by 2 from positive side, 1 minus sine x by pi minus 2x the whole square. So overall what we are going to get is limit h tending to 0, 1 minus sine of pi by 2 plus h divided by pi minus 2 into pi by 2 plus h the whole square. So let's see what we get. Sine of pi by 2 plus h is going to be cos h. So 1 minus cos h divided by, if we simplify this, pi minus pi. So overall, what is going to happen now? Pi minus pi will get cancelled, and internally you will get minus 2h. It will be 4h square over here. Let's evaluate this limit now. So 1 minus cos h, as you all know, is 2 sine square h by 2 divided by 4h square. So I'm going to put now 1 by 4 over here and then multiply by 4. Now why did I do this? It's because we got 2 outside, sine h by 2, sine h by 2. That means we got sine square h by 2. And over here, this h by 2 is going to split like this. So overall what we have is this, 2 by 16. This is going to be the case. And not to forget that there is a b also. So throughout we have done one mistake, that is we have not copied this b. You can clearly see that there is a b in the term. So that is to be continued over here. Precisely the b is over here. So we're going to write it throughout, and if you don't write it then it's a mistake. So now that we have got this is going to be 1, this is going to be 1, as h tends to 0, 2 8s are. So what we get is b by 8 is equal to half, which means that b is equal to 4. So overall what we have got is a is half and b is 4, provided the function is continuous at x at pi by 2. Now here we have a set of questions which had come in some of the papers for 3 marks each. So both of them are for 3 marks. Let's see how to evaluate this. So if you have y is equal to sine inverse x the whole square, you have to prove that this statement is true. That is 1 minus x square y double dash minus x times y dash minus 2 equals to 0. Let's see in what way we can do this. We know that y is equal to sine inverse x the whole square. This is there with us. So obviously, if I want to find y dash, I can write it as y dash is equal to 2 sine inverse x by the chain rule, and then I'm going to find the derivative of this, that is root over of 1 minus x square. So this is the derivative of this function. So overall we are getting something over here right now. Let's take it into consideration, and what we have got to do is we've got to square this. So now whatever we have got over here in this equation, we'll just square it up. So all that we have is y dash square. Let's write it this way, y dash square is equal to 2 square sine inverse x the whole square into 1 by 1 minus x square. That's what we have. So we know that this sine inverse x square can be written as y square. So we'll have y dash square is equal to 4 times y divided by 1 minus x square. Let's continue further and try to find the derivative of this. So overall what we'll get is y dash square into 1 minus x square minus 4y is equal to 0. Now let's derivate this according to product rule. So this is going to be 2y dash into y double dash. This will be the derivative of this point with 1 minus x square as it is. Then what we're going to do is we will derivate this, that will be minus 2x. So I'm derivating this now, keeping the other term same. Then what we have is 4y dash equals to 0. Overall, you can clearly see that 2 is going to be divided throughout and y dash takes out common. So overall what we have is y double dash into 1 minus x square minus x y dash minus 2 is equal to 0. That is what we have. And I guess that is what we have to prove. So precisely we have been able to prove that. So this is a problem for 3 marks. And once you do this, you have achieved what you want. Let's take the other function as well, which is a great example of logarithmic differentiation. And if you go to solve this by normal method, then it will take a lot of time. So this is a function that is given to us, and we will find f dash 1. So that is also there for 3 marks. So this time the function is a bit tedious. So that is 1 plus x into 1 plus x squared into 1 plus x raised to 4 into 1 plus x raised to 8. Now f dash x is going to be, before we find f dash x, let's take log on both the sides as specified earlier. So this I'm going to consider as y now, and if I take log, it will be ln y. This would be ln of 1 plus x, 1 plus x squared, 1 plus x raised to 4, 1 plus x raised to 8. So this was it. Now we will use the properties of log to the ln of 1 plus x plus ln of 1 plus x squared plus ln of 1 plus x raised to 4 plus ln of 1 plus x raised to 8. Let's continue. So when I derivate this, this would be y dash by y 1 by 1 plus x plus 1 by 1 plus x squared. Not to forget this x squared, so there will be a derivative 2x. Next it will be 1 plus x raised to 4 into 4x cubed plus 1 by 1 plus x raised to 8 into 8x raised to 7. Now what we want is y dash of 1. So we'll require y of 1 as well. Now y of 1 would be 1 plus x, 1 plus x squared, 1 plus x raised to 4, 1 plus x raised to 8. So y of 1 would be 2 raised to 4, that is 16. Now let's substitute this and see what happens. So it means that this y of 1 would be 16. So y dash should be 16 times 1 by 1 plus 1 plus 2 by 1 plus 1 plus 4 by 1 plus 1 and lastly 8 by 1 plus 1. So overall it will be 8 plus 4, 12, 12 plus 2, 14, 15. So 16 into 15 by 2. So the overall answer that you get for this question would be 15 8s are 120. 120 is the answer of this question. This is one of the 1 mark questions that came in one of the papers. So how do we do it? Firstly, you know that you need to understand that y is equal to e raised to ln of anything. Let's say this is the type of function that you have. So it is going to be just this. Whenever you have this kind of a setup, all it means is fx. So when I have this e raised to ln of x squared, then what we want is, it is just this. So derivative of this with respect to x is going to be 2x. Let's take up one more problem in continuity. It says that this is the function and there are two critical points to be considered over here. One is pi by 4 and the other one is pi by 2. So define the continuity of this function at x equals to a, and we define the values of a and b. So the first part of the question, that is define continuity of the function at x equals to a. All that we have to write is, whenever we consider LHL, that is limit x tending to a minus fx, would be limit h tending to 0 f of a minus h. This is what we get. So this is LHL, and the RHL part is limit x tending to a plus f of x, which should be f of a plus h, and the value of the function at that point, that is f of a. So when these three things, that is 1, 2 and 3, all are equal, it means that the function is continuous at x equals to a. Now after that, we have to actually solve this problem and find the values of a and b. So let's do it. So first we take at x equals to pi by 4. At x equals to pi by 4, f of pi by 4 would be pi by 4, sorry, we have to take the bottom definition simply because you can see that this sign is there for this particular function. So it should be 2 into pi by 4 into cot of pi by 4 plus b. So this is going to be pi by 2 into cot pi by 4, that is 1 plus b. So the value of this function at that point is given as pi by 2 plus b. Now let's take the left hand limit. So LHL is going to be limit h tending to 0. We are going to take in place this, we are going to take at x, I'm going to consider pi by 4 minus h, and at this point we are going to consider sine of pi by 4 minus h. Now if I put h tending to 0, what we get is this pi by 4 plus root 2a sine of pi by 4, that is 1 by root 2. So overall what we get is pi by 4 plus a. Now LHL is this. Let's see what RHL is. And the value of RHL definitely is going to be the same, that is pi by 2 plus b. So for RHL, we will consider the next function, that is this. Function for RHL is going to be 2x cot x plus b. So limit h tending to 0, 2 into pi by 4 plus h cot of pi by 4 plus h plus b. So put h tending to 0 and what we get is the same, that is pi by 2 plus b. So overall, I can say that if the function has to be continuous at pi by 4, then what should happen? It should be pi by 4 plus a should be equal to pi by 2 plus b. The LHL should be equal to RHL, and that should be the equal to the value of the function at that point. This and this goes, and what you get is a minus b is pi by 4. This is one function, or this is one equation that you get applying continuity at pi by 4. Similar process we're going to do at x equals to pi by 2 as well. So 2x cot x plus b would be the LHL, a cos 2x minus b sin x. This is going to be the value of the function at that point. So firstly we'll calculate f of pi by 2. F of pi by 2 is going to be nothing but a cos 2 times pi by 2, a cos pi minus b sin pi by 2. It's going to be minus a minus b. Now let's take the left hand limit, which is 2x cot x plus b. So that's going to be limit x tending to pi by 2 from negative side 2x cot x plus b. So it's going to be 2 into pi by 2 minus h cot of pi by 2 minus h plus b. So pi cot pi by 2 plus b. So cot pi by 2 is 0. So overall the value of this is going to be b. Let us find the RHL also. So as we found RHL already, the value of that would be minus a minus b. Similar value we are going to get minus a minus b. Now when we equate this minus a minus b to b, you're going to get a is equal to minus 2b. So this is one equation. When we solve both these equations, let's see what we get. Put a is minus 2b, you get minus 3b is equal to pi by 4. So b we achieve as minus pi by 12. And if b is minus pi by 12, then a is pi by 6. So this is the value of this function. So if the function has to be continuous, a and b have to be this. Now this is one of the problems that came for 3 marks. So let's do this problem as well. So overall, now we have got this function. Let's expand this first so that we can simplify this in a better way. Now before that, as I move ahead, this is going to be tan of pi by 4 plus tan of x by 2 by tan of 1 minus tan pi by 4 tan x by 2. So overall what we have is 1 plus tan x by 2, 1 minus tan x by 2. So y we have achieved as log of, let's continue further. So here you can see that I have this kind of a setup. Now I'm going to take the derivative of these functions. So y dash is going to be 1 by 1 plus tan x by 2 into half sec square x by 2, which is the derivative of tan x by 2, minus 1 by 1 minus tan x by 2, because there is a log. So whatever is there inside the log, that will come down. And not to forget this tan x by 2, whose derivative will be minus half sec square x by 2. So overall, if we add both of them, take this common, we half sec square x by 2 common, and then internally we have this, that is 1 plus tan x by 2, and this would be 1 minus tan x by 2. Let's see what we can do with this. So we'll keep the outside part as it is, and we'll write it as sec square x by 2. Internally what we'll get is 1 minus tan x by 2 plus 1 plus tan x by 2. So tan x by 2 terms will get cancelled. What we get is this. So overall I'm going to get just 2 on top. 2 by 1 minus tan square x by 2. Which would then be written as this 2 and this 2 gets cancelled. And overall, I'm going to convert this x square x by 2 as 1 plus tan square x by 2 by 1 minus tan square x by 2. Now this is an expansion of 1 by cos x. Because cos x, when we expand, one of the formulas is 1 minus tan square x by 2 by 1 plus tan square x by 2. So if this is 1 by cos x, then 1 by cos x is sec x. So that's how we have achieved as y dash x is sec x. So that is the answer of this question. Next, let us take up this problem. This is a 1 mark question. You have to find y dash. So first use the product rule, that is derivative of x is 1. Second function as it is. Derivative of e raised to x is e raised to x into the first function as it is equal to y dash plus cos x. Now y dash at x equals to 0 is e raised to 0 plus 0 is equal to y dash plus cos of 0. Cos 0 is 1. So we get y dash as 0. Because this is 1 and this is 1. Both are going to cancel. So y dash is 0. That is the answer. Let's take up this question now. So y is equal to tan inverse x. So y dash is 1 by 1 plus x squared. That's what we know. So we have to prove that this is true. Now once we have achieved this, so y dash into 1 plus x squared is equal to 1. Now let us differentiate this. So we differentiate according to the product rule, and if you do that, we're going to get y double dash into 1 plus x squared plus 2x into y dash is equal to 0. So this is how we get the answer. That is the answer to this question. This problem came for 2 marks. Let's take up the next problem. So this is a 3-mark problem which came in one of the previous year's paper. Let's see how to do it. So here we have this tan inverse of this particular x square minus y square by x square plus y square is alpha. So it's this alpha only actually. And then we have to prove that y dash is x into 1 minus tan alpha by y into 1 plus tan alpha. You can pause the video, you can try this problem. So we will have x square minus y square by x square plus y square is equal to tan of alpha. This is what we have. Now what we to do is we apply something called as componendo dividendo. Now what is componendo dividendo? Let us see that. Now it's a principle of ratio and proportions, which means that if I have a fraction on both the sides, then by applying this principle, I'm going to get a plus b by a minus b is equal to c plus d by c minus d. This is what we apply. Now, if I apply this to this particular function, then what I'll get is x square minus y square plus x square plus y square divided by x square minus y square minus x square minus y square is equal to tan alpha plus 1 by tan alpha minus 1. Because what is there over here? It's 1 finally. Now you will get, on top you will get 2x square, at the bottom you will get minus 2y square. And this will be tan alpha plus 1 by tan alpha minus 1. Now this minus sign, to compensate this, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to write this other way around. And we will write it as 1 plus tan alpha by 1 minus tan alpha. This is equal to x square by y square. Now let's take it that way. So what we are going to get is y square is equal to 1 minus tan alpha by 1 plus tan alpha. This alpha term, entire term is a constant. This is equal to x square. So derivative on both the sides 2 by y dash is 2x into 1 minus tan alpha by 1 plus tan alpha. So 2 and 2 gets cancelled, and what we get is y dash is x by y, this same alpha term. And that is precisely what we wanted to prove. So we are getting it, and this is a 3-mark question, which is quite simple. Now let's take up this continuity problem. You can clearly see that the function is continuous, and we have to find the values of a and b. So first I'm going to find limit x tending to minus pi by 2 from negative side, that is left hand side, and it should be 1 plus sin x by a cos square x. So we are going to put x as minus pi by 2 minus h. So limit x tending to limit 8 and h tending to 0, 1 plus sine of minus pi by 2 minus h divided by a cos square of minus pi by 2 minus h. So this is going to be limit h tending to 0. Take the minus sign out, and what we get is inside we'll get pi by 2 plus h. So sine of pi by 2 plus h is cos h. So it will be 1 minus cos h by, at the bottom if I take the negative sign, it doesn't make a difference because cos of pi by 2 plus h is minus sin h, and because there is this square, it doesn't make a difference and it's going to be sin square h over. Now overall this will be 1 minus cos h. If I put h square, limit h tending to 0, and here if I put h square, this would be 1, and the value of this limit after you calculate would be half. So what we're going to get is 1 by 2a. So value of LHL is 1 by 2a. Now let us find the value of the function at that point. So f of minus pi by 2 would be a sine of 2 times minus pi by 2 plus b. 2 and 2 will go, and what we get is sine of minus pi, which is 0, and which is b. So we get one equation, that is 1 by 2a is equal to b. So overall, the equation is like AB is equal to half. This is the first equation. Second equation would be applying the limit at x equals to 0. So let's do that and see what we get. So this time LHL is going to be this limit x tending to 0 from negative side, which is going to be a sine 2x plus b. So if I apply this over here, it's going to be a sine 2 times 0 minus h plus b, limit x tending to h. So this time the limit, when we apply h, it's going to be h tending to 0. When we write x, then it's x tending to 0 minus, that is from the negative side. So limit h tending to 0 would be a sine, put 0 over here, then we'll get 0. So overall, the value of this limit is b. That's what we get. So what we have to do is now solve for the right hand limit, which should be equal. So limit x tending to 0 plus, this would be the value of the function is x square by e raised to 4x minus 2 e raised to 2x plus 1, which can further be written as limit h tending to 0 plus, this would be x square by e raised to 4h minus 2 e raised to 2h plus 1. This would be h square by e raised to 2h minus 1 the whole square. So overall what we have is, if we take this h down, then we are going to get limit h tending to 0 at 1 by e raised to 2h minus 1 by h into e raised to 2h minus 1 by h. So whatever is there over here, that same thing should be there at the denominator. So we're going to put 4. We'll get 1 by 4. The value of the value of this limit is 1 by 4, which means that the value of b is going to be 1 by 4. That's the first thing. The second thing is going to be, we know that AB is half. So obviously A is going to be 2. B is 1 by 4 and A is 2. That is the answer of this question. Let's take another question in derivatives, and it is kind of similar to what we have seen in the past. So this time the function is e raised to a sine inverse x. Let's see whether we can prove it. So y dash is going to be e raised to a sine inverse x remaining constant. The derivative of this term, however, is going to be a by this. So it's a very simple technique now that we have to follow. All that we have to do is this we have to resubstitute as y. So it's going to be ya by root 1 minus x square. Now let's square this term on both the sides. So it's going to be y dash the whole square is equal to y square a square divided by 1 minus x square. Doing which, what we get is y dash square into 1 minus x square. This is equal to y square a square. So 2 y dash y double dash into 1 minus x square plus minus 2x into y dash the whole square is equal to 2y dash 2y y dash a square. That will be the answer to this question. Now divide throughout by 2y dash, and what we get is y double dash into 1 minus x square minus x y dash is equal to y a square. So this is what we wanted to prove, and we have already proved it. Next problem is this. It's a 2-mark problem. So again, let us take logarithmic differentiation. Ln y is equal to sine x ln of tan x. Let's differentiate. So this will be y dash by y sine x into 1 by tan x into sec square x. So derivative of ln of this is going to be 1 by that thing into the internal function derivative plus cos x. That will be the derivative of sin x into the second function as it is. So y dash is equal to tan x raised to sin x. Internally, what we are going to get is this. One sec x is going to remain plus cos x into ln of tan x. That would be the answer to this question. Because here, this sin x and sin x will get cancelled, and there will be 1 by cos x, which we would write as sec x. Only one sec x will remain. That is the answer to this question, because this y goes on this side, and we have to write it in this form. Let's take up another problem from continuity. Again, the critical points are going to be 0 and at pi by 2. So first, at x equals to 0, we will apply the continuity. So limit x tending to 0 minus 2 sin x minus sin 2x divided by x cube. Now I'm going to apply limit h tending to 0, and here we will apply 0 minus h minus sine of 2 times 0 minus h divided by 0 minus h the whole cube. If you apply 0, then it would not be defined. So we'll try and simplify it. What we would get from here is 2 sine minus 2 sin h plus sine 2h, which would then be written as 2 sin h cos h divided by minus h cube. So overall we can write it the same way as it was earlier. Limit h tending to 0, 2 sin h minus 2 sin h cos h divided by h cube. Overall what we get is 2 sin h is going to come outside, 1 minus cos h is going to stay. So this 1 of the h square I'm going to take here, and the remaining h I'm going to take here. Sorry, it's the other way down. H square will go over here. Now when we solve this limit as h tends to 0, we get the value as half. And this value is 2, because this would finally be 1. Now how we get it 0 is because we convert this 1 minus cos h to 2 sin square h by 2, and then make the necessary adjustments. So overall the value of this limit is 1. Then let us see the right hand limit. that is a sin x plus b cos x. So limit h tending to 0, a is sin 0 plus h plus b cos of 0 plus h. Now put h as 0 and we don't get, so here this would be finite, a into 0 plus this would be b into 1. So overall we get b. So which means that b, the value of b is 1. That's the first part. Second part, we have to check the continuity at x equals to pi by 2. So let's solve that. Let's take up these two definitions now and work on them. So left hand limit this time is going to be a into limit h tending to 0 sine of 0 minus, it's going to be pi by 2 minus h plus b cos pi by 2 minus h. Put h as 0 and we get the value of this limit as a. Similarly, let's do RHL also. And RHL, when we do, we will have to write limit h tending to 0, 3 cos pi by 2 plus h plus cos of 3 times pi by 2 plus h divided by pi minus 2x. So this pi minus 2x that you see, we'll have to substitute it. We know that x is pi by 2 plus h in this case. So when we see a term like this, pi minus 2x, it's going to be pi minus 2 times pi by 2 plus h, which is going to be minus 2h in this case. So the value of this is going to be minus 2h. So let's write this as minus 2h the whole cube. Overall, what we are going to see is this is going to be 0. This is going to be cos 3 pi by 2. That is 0 again. And here we are going to get minus 2h cube. We will have to first simplify it. So let's simplify it first. You can clearly see that cos pi by 2 plus h is minus sin h. So this is going to be minus 3 sin h. And overall, this is going to be cos 3 pi by 2 plus 3h, which is in the fourth quadrant. In the fourth quadrant, cos will be positive and would come out as sine of 3h divided by minus 8h cube. Let's simplify this further and we'll write it as 3 sin h minus sine 3h by 8h cube. So it's going to be 3 sin h. This sine 3h we're going to write as 3 sin h minus 4 sine cube h. The formula of sine 3h divided by 8h cube. So this goes and we will get this. Finally what we get is 4 by 8 into sine cube h by h cube, which is going to be half. And once we get it, we know that that is the value of a. So we get the value of a is half and b is 1. Let's take up a problem, last problem of the day, in which we're going to use a rule called as Newton-Leibniz rule. So let's say we have something like this. F of x and this is g of x. And here there is h of t. Now, how to apply this? Let's say this is some p of x. Now, when we try to find p dash x, we will do g dash x into h of g of x. That means in place of t, we are going to put this g of x first, minus f dash x into h of f of x. So that is how we apply, and that is the value of p dash x. Now applying this rule, wherein we have this problem, that is 0 to x t sine t dt. The value of f dash x has to be first derivative x, that is 1, into x sine x, minus the derivative, we will put this 0 into 0 sine 0. So the final value of this answer, final value of this question, the derivative is going to be x sine x.